our presenters, Dr. Gary Schwartz, Heather Bollech-Fonseca, and Marcelo Netto. Also, let's give a warm welcome to our moderator for this Q&A session, Ricardo Mastroleo, founder and the current president of the Allan Kardec Spiritist Educational Center in Austin, Texas.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just received some questions that I haven't had time to edit, so that'll be interesting. Well, I will start with the ones that I had a chance to read. And the first question is for Dr. Schwartz. What are the names of the journals you are publishing your work on leadership?
The journals that are open to publishing, particularly the question of possible spirit communication technology, the primary journal is a journal called Explore, which is, the editor-in-chief is Larry Dossi, and one of the senior editors is Dean Radin, and they are two people who are very open to this kind of work. It's very severely peer-reviewed, because they have to be very, very cautious about what they allow to be published, but they are open to it. Another one is called the Journal of Scientific Exploration, which is again open to this kind of work. A recent paper was published, a chapter was published in a book called the Oxford University Handbook of Psychology and Spirituality. But almost all the mainstream journals would prefer that this content not be submitted to their journal. And it's literally rejected on content basis, not on the quality of the scientific work.
Okay, thank you. The next one is for Heather and Marcelo, so I'll let you decide. What kinds of practical things can we do in our day-to-day lives to better attune ourselves to the spirits around us, especially the spirits of our loved ones who may be with us?
What can we do?
I can read again. What kinds of practical things can we do in our day-to-day lives to better attune ourselves to the spirits around us, especially the spirits of our loved ones who may be with us?
Inevitably, we are going to attune ourselves with spirits around us, but the question is which spirits will we attune with? And this all works by the law of affinity. It's pretty simple. It's based on the quality of our thoughts, where they're directed, the emotions that we're having, and the energies that we thereby create will draw to us the spirits that are in tune with the same feelings, thoughts, same frequency. Like Marcelo mentioned the radio. And it's just tuning ourselves to the kinds of spirits that we want by our side. And as for our loved ones, it also works by thought, prayer. It's not easy when our loved ones are not with us. We miss them greatly. But one of the things I was trying to mention is that it's important that we help them with positive thoughts as much as we can, because they really feel the impact of how we experience the separation. And if we have a hard time with it, then we make it harder for them. If we try to direct our love to them and think of, the positive memories and that kind of thing, then we will help them to be more peaceful. And they will want to come and be with us and be by us.
Okay. Well, thank you. And the next one is for Marcelo, and I think it goes in the same line. When we are having bad thoughts and feeling bad thoughts and feelings towards others, what's the best way to change that pattern and bring the good thoughts back?
We all have this, no exception. Sometimes we feel different difficult sentiments, feelings about others, which is natural, it's the state of evolution that we are. But my advice is don't do anything. Don't be impulsive. Wait. Think about it. Pray. Stop. Meditate. And I know sometimes our minds are very in a turbulence, in a cycle, and we keep feeding these thoughts, which is very natural because we are on the face of the earth and we are not alone. Sometimes we think we are alone and we are surrounded by a multitude of spirits aligned with the same thought that we are having at that moment. So that's why I says, like, don't do anything, because sometimes we have the impulse to grab the phone, to talk to that parent, or to do anything that could be ruin the relationship. Breathe. Breathe in. Meditate. And if you can grab a page of inspirational message, I usually grab a gospel according to Spiritism. I do a little prayer. Sometimes it sounds mechanical because we are feeling that anxiety, but I have this habit to do not do anything. I try to meditate. I try to do a little prayer. I open the gospel, try to grasp and to extract anything from there. And you'll be amazed what kind of inspirational message, once you are sincere in wishing to resolve that situation in a good way. Blessed are the meek and the peace-loving, because they will inherit the earth. So it's up to us to be the loving and the peace, the meek and the peace-loving, or we can be the warriors from the past. So try to create this pattern, try to meditate, open an inspirational message, and I think you will create this habit, and one day this will be natural, and you will do this naturally.
Thank you. This is for Dr. Schwartz. Do you think that psychic abilities of humans are increasing?
Or what?
Are increasing. And people are getting more aware of the spiritual environment in which they are immersed?
It's a really good question. I think it's fair to say that the awareness of psychic phenomena, psychic possibility, is growing. If what we mean by that, if we use it by evidence, of course, is the media and what we see on television, or the kinds of movies that are portrayed, or the kinds of books that are written. We certainly see increased evidence of that, and increased, I think, concern about both the psychic capabilities and psychic abuse of this. Certainly in my experience in working with undergraduate students, it's my sense that that many of them almost take this for granted. Take it for granted in the sense that that it's just part of their upbringing, whether they're watching it on cartoons or whether they're, it's part of the songs that they hear. And that doesn't mean that there isn't lots of questions and also very ardent disbelievers. But I think in general, I would say that there's increased openness and increased interest, particularly among young people, which of course is what the future is all about for the species.
Okay. This is for Heather. Can you explain briefly the relationship of matter in the spiritual realm?
Yeah. Matter is something that we think only exists in the physical realm, but it exists in many forms. And one of the easiest way that I try to explain this is the way that I kind of got it in my own mind, that if we think about the molecules that make up water, that can take many forms, from liquid water or solid ice or gas, and it can reach a point in gaseous state that we don't see it, but we know that, for example, the humidity is around us. And in the matter of the spiritual realm is more ethereal. It's not, it's condensed and solid like the matter of our physical world. And it's all relative. So we just have to understand that just because we can't see it, like gas, it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's just in a different state.
And for Marcelo, what's, in fact, you mentioned meditation a few minutes ago, so this question goes. You mentioned meditation just a minute ago, so that the question is in line with what you just was commenting before. What's the importance of meditation to spiritual development?
When we meditate, we make our mind silent. In silence, sometimes we live in a world, in a society that we constantly are speaking, listening. Sometimes when we meditate, we try to establish silence in order to listen. Sometimes we don't make inner silence. That's why we have an ability, we are not able to listen. What there are many times, the good ones are whispering to us so loud, the good ones. So when we meditate, we try to establish this inner silence, because it's a matter of habit. Let's try to develop this habit, make inner silence, and wait for the answer. And sometimes the answer doesn't come. It doesn't mean that God doesn't love us. Sometimes the answer has to come in a more appropriate time. And this is my advice. I don't know if I answered the question.
Do we have time for another round? 3 minutes? One more question. All right. Well, so this is a general question, and I won't address to any one of you, but anyone that jumped in to answer is good. What does modern Spiritism have to say regarding gay persons and sexual orientation?
I think that all we need, this is a pretty deep topic, and I just think that all we need to say right now is acceptance, loving, and in Spiritism we learn all about loving one another, and I just think it's a really deep question for this forum right now in 3 minutes, so.
Okay.